This is TWiT.
Give us the overview of Podlove. What's it all about and how did it get started?
So Podlove was founded because we felt there is a need to improve the overall podcasting infrastructure. Podcasting has been here for 10 years, but it hasn't really evolved much. There are the feeds, there are a few clients, but you couldn't really publish easily, and there was no way to get good metadata out. So I'm a podcaster myself, and I was lacking a lot of features, and I didn't find them in any other software. All those plugins out there were just bad. So, that's when you decide that you start your own project and try to improve it.
Well, back in the day, long before I was doing the FLOSS Weekly, I was doing another podcast called Geek Cruises Newses for the Geek Cruises, now named Insight Cruises company. And I used libsyn, and I found that sort of awkward. Is this something that's hopefully better than libsyn?
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, the Podlove project is about both doing software and standards. So we want to improve it in general. But we are also trying to follow up on our ideas and provide software where you can do it on your own. But it's not a complete hosting solution. It's just something to publish your podcast. So it addresses those podcasters who are really into it and want to do the hosting on their own. If you go to libsyn or to other services, you don't really want to have to do so much with all the technical details, and you just wanted somebody else to do it. We are more addressing podcasters who are really into the details and who love to have a few features more, and you get them from us. And hopefully we will be able to design standards and ways of doing it that slowly evolve into the general podcast hosting world too. There are some examples like Podigy.com, who has adopted quite a few of our standards.
So, Tim, I've been using the WordPress publisher recently, and going back, say, 8 years, I think it is now, when I started podcasting, the problems I had were that I needed multiple feeds because I released in OGG, Vorbis, and also in MP3, and right. None of the plugins I could find would do that kind of thing, and I went through for ages. So that's one of the things that PodPress does really well. You mentioned features and so on. You can support multiple feeds and formats and even video and all kinds of things, can't you?
That's it. Yeah, we have an open system where you just create assets, and it could be anything. It could be metadata files, could be episode images, and so on, and multiple versions of your feed, so you can provide high quality, low quality files, different file formats. It's very flexible in that sense. That's one of the things that we tackled in the beginning, right?
And you mentioned, Randall mentioned libsyn before. I just to put my hand in the air as I suppose declare an interest in this. I use libsyn still for my hosting as a CDN, but now I'm using I'm just loading the files from there and using the Podlove thing. So you can use the two together. They don't have to be exclusive.
Yes, in theory, yes. There are some hosters who have weird ways of dealing with file names, but as long as you can control the file names, it's possible to use the Podlove publisher right now with any file hoster. So yeah, that's possible.
So, I mean, I can, I suppose I can give live feedback, but I tried it with libsyn and it did work. And one of the problems some people have with libsyn, if I suppose people who are listening may not be familiar, is it adds this weird metadata kind of string to the end of the file address. And I think that's some kind of tracking thing that they do, but it still seems to work okay with Podlove for me anyway, with the Podlove publisher on WordPress. So thumbs up for that one.
Yeah, I mean, we came up with our own tracking system just recently. We have added analytics to the Podlove publisher. So now we have download statistics right in the plugin, which are very detailed, where you can really go deep down into and have a look on what operating systems are actually accessing your content, which clients, and so on. That's just something we've just released and going to improve a lot. Also, we want to go into feed statistics a lot. It's not that easy to do it. It's much easier if you really have a hosted service where you're free to, go along as you like. Sometimes we're a bit strangled by how WordPress is dealing with things, but yeah, we get along well.
Now, I mean, WordPress is a great platform for this kind of thing, and a lot of people know how to use it, so it makes sense to have a WordPress plugin. Is that why you chose WordPress? Was that the obvious choice? There wasn't anything else that you thought might be an alternative?
Yes. That's it. First of all, I mean, podcasting technically evolved out of blogging, and WordPress is the strongest blogging platform still. So it's a good match. You know, you just add the podcasting stuff and you get all the other stuff for free. And there's no real other blogging platform that, you know, was sort of on the table here, at least not that I know of. So that's one of the reasons. So, yeah, and it worked. And also, almost all of the podcasters that were actually self-hosting were using WordPress anyway. So this was just the obvious choice to go with WordPress here.